stop practice. We're going to do it the right way. And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT, as we open up the show. Out of the gate, as we open up the show. Thank you. I was confused by my YouTube microphone. All microphones are on. The show is ready to go. It actually started. So don't wait 10 minutes. Don't wait 20. Sound off like you got a pair. We got a busy show today. Golden Knights win. Was it controversial? I didn't think so. I mean, they blew an icing call, but it wasn't a crazy icing call. I mean, Eichel was hunting down the puck. They got it wrong, and Anaheim is imploding, acting like we ripped them off here in VGK. Welcome in, everybody. JT from the world headquarters of our broadcast studio here at Lotus Broadcasting. Love to get you involved on multiple platforms. Raider Nation Radio, you can also watch the monologue or the whole show on YouTube as we are ready to go there. And you can jump in on the Raiders mobile app. And we love to do live radio. There's NBA playoffs. There's a lot of excitement in regards to the NBA and the NHL. Playoff hockey and basketball is great. It's not good, it's great. So stop whining and complaining about the NBA. You were able to do that. I blank and moan about the NBA all the time. Load management, tanking. They have really big problems in the NBA. They have no problems in the playoffs. The playoffs are electric. It's great every night. There's unbelievable games. I mean, my Knicks win by 40 every game now. It's incredible. And the Lakers played tonight. And I don't know who listens to this show from time to time. It's like a mystery. It is. It's a mystery who's listening. I know we got a big audience, but I don't know who you are. But I know there are Laker fans out there because I see Laker fans at Raider games. I see Laker fans all over Vegas. I know we got a big audience in LA. So I know you Laker fans are listening to me. And, man, you should feel disrespected. And that's the focus of the monologue as we open it up. We're brought to you by Modelo, the fighting spirit of Modelo, proud partner of our show. And I think the Lakers need to get some pride, and they need some fighting spirit. Do you know that nobody in Lakerland, no one in the Southland, nobody I know thinks the Lakers have a chance to beat who? Oklahoma City. What the hell is going on that we're worried about Oklahoma City? Hartenstein? How many? You can't name the coach. If I gave you 50 guesses to name the coach, I'm telling you 49 of you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, including myself. You don't even know who the coach is. Mark Dagnall? Who? You don't even know. Lakers have LeBron. They have SGA. The Lakers have Luka. Wow, he's going to come back at some point in this series. Austin Reeves, who I watched play basketball at Oklahoma when my son went to school there. And the Lakers right now, nobody. I'm talking Stephen A. Smith to James Worthy to anybody, Charles Barkley, go around the horn. Nobody thinks the Lakers can win a game. Wow. This is the franchise that had Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, the late Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, and no one thinks they could even put up a fight. Wow, have the mighty have fallen. LeBron showed up. I think they got a pretty good team. I think some of their players are really good. They got Ayton, who's a big center. He was really good at one point. They got guys, Hachimura, who can score. But wow, you Laker fans, man, you need to fight for the radio show. You're a 15.5-point underdog before you get off the bus in Oklahoma City. They think you're going to lose every game by 20. 20. So I think this is an incredible topic. And if you're not here for it, get off the YouTube. Go find something else. Go find some podcaster who wants to talk about their niche. I'm talking sports today. The Lakers are a much bigger topic than the Raiders practice squad today. I apologize. So we're going to get into the Raiders. I'm going to have Clint Kubiak on tomorrow. How about that? How about that? Sound the sports siren. Tomorrow, I'm in headquarters with Clint Kubiak tomorrow during this show. So get ready for that, or immediately following the show. We're working out the schedule there, but I'm excited to head to HQ tomorrow. But back to the Laker fans. It's like I'm lifting up rocks, Clay. I know there's a Laker fan on Durango and Russell. I know there's a Laker fan on Buffalo. I know there's a Laker fan leaving the Fountain Blue. I know there's a Laker fan in Deep Henderson. They're just hiding. They don't think they can compete against a team from Oklahoma City where most people couldn't name 3 of their players.
I would think that there would be just as much Dodger and Laker stuff going on at the same time. There's lots of Dodger wear. There's a lot of people upfront about their support for the Dodgers. There's also Laker fans. And it's not coming true. I do not see the same sort of fury for Laker basketball as I do for Dodger baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean, Dodger baseball has Ohtani. I mean, I live in L.A. right now. You have the MVP of football in Matthew Stafford. You got the best player in the world in Ohtani, even though my guy Judge has better stats. He does. You got LeBron James. You got USC football with Lincoln Riley. UCLA getting a little bit better. You got the Kings in hockey, the Ducks. Oh, I'm going to get to the Ducks coming up momentarily. I'm going to get to the Ducks coming up here in a minute. You got the Chargers with a big celebrity, Mike McDaniel. Ever heard of Mike McDaniel? He's the big celebrity in Southern California, but it revolves around LeBron James, and the Lakers are playing. So I wanted to fit it into the monologue here, throw out the number 702-365-9200 to see if I could find a Laker fan, just one today, because I'm going through this arc in my career after 30 years where I'm finding myself calling out fans more than ever who hide or don't participate. I don't need to. I mean, I don't have to do any of this. I can just do the show and park interviews in here and play sound. But what I'm trying to do now is engage my sports radio audiences. I got 2 shows today, big 3-hour one tonight. And a lot of people are just kind of like zombies now. They listen, they hear their team, and they don't have an opinion on their team. I'm trying to get radio back to where it once was, where everyone has an opinion. And I thought I'd lead off with the Lakers today because the Lakers should be embarrassed as an organization that no one is giving them a chance. Wow. I mean, the Raiders are struggling. They haven't won in a while. So no one's giving the Raiders a chance. Nobody. They're saying the win total's 5.5. They can't beat anybody, this and that. But, the Raiders are going to have to prove it. They're going to have to prove that. They haven't proved it in over 20 years. So the Raiders have to prove it before we can start flexing our beer muscles and telling everybody how great the Raiders are. The Lakers? What are we talking about here with the Lakers? Now the Lakers are the underdog by 2 touchdowns? This isn't football. This is basketball. Wow. So Laker fans, I'm calling you out today. Okay, and we'll see if there are Laker fans out there that have the balls to support their team, because this is what pure sports radio is about. We got games tonight. We're going to cover those games. If you're a Laker fan, the show started 8 minutes ago. We're waiting on you. If you think you could win this series, which would be a miracle, it would be a miracle if the Lakers don't lose in 5. If they lose in 6, maybe have a parade down. What do you have it down? El Segundo? Maybe have a parade if you win 2 games down El Segundo in Los Angeles, because no one thinks the Lakers can win. All right, let's go to the hockey game last night. Wow, what a game. I didn't think at one point the Knights, I root for them hard. I didn't think they were going to win because Anaheim was just swarming. Every time I looked up, Anaheim had the puck. They're on a 2-on-1. They're taking shots. I'm like, oh, my God, it's just a matter of time. And it was just a matter of time before they tied it up at 1. So when they tied it up at 1, I said, oh, boy, here we go. Got to get a goal. And then the controversial goal came on what should have been an icing call. But it was controversial. When icing, if you don't know what icing is when you throw the puck down the length of the ice and no one touches it behind the red line. Typically, icing in hockey means you throw it behind your own net or deep in your zone, all the way down, intended for no one, and that's icing. That's what everybody's used to in icing their entire life. Not a controversial call where the puck is right behind the red line and it's dumped in, and aggressively 2 players, 1 opponent is going after the puck and someone beats you there. You don't normally see that a lot, but it's still icing. So Anaheim feels like they got robbed. Joe Quenneville, their head coach, went bonkers. If you ever wanted to tee up, if you can give a technical like in the NBA, he would have got a technical because he was totally talking down to the referees, but Vegas, the Golden Knights, took advantage of it. That is Dan Duva on the call, man. Tremendous call there. Both the goals were gorgeous passes. I mean, gorgeous passes for Vegas. And then the empty net goal that puts it away because still after being up 2-1, Anaheim pulling their goalie, you know they were going to have a chance. Vegas puts it away.
With 6 seconds to go from 170 feet, Vegas takes a 3-1 lead in position to claim victory in Game 1.
All right, Golden Knights Radio on the call. So that's what we're talking about also tonight. If you're a VGK fan in town, how do you take a victory that maybe was controversial? How do you put it behind you? Because it seemed like after the game, when I watched the post game, Tortorella, even the players, Marner's playing unbelievable. Finally, he woke up. Mitch Marner finally is delivering here. He has woken up from his slumber. He is a great hockey player. You add him with Jack Eichel and Hannafin and Theodore and Stone. I mean, I've said this about this Vegas Golden Knights team. They have an all-star team. The Utah Mammoth and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, or excuse me, don't want to make that mistake, the Anaheim Ducks, they do not have an all-star team, but they have good players. They're all in the NHL. They're NHL players, but they don't have an all-star team. The problem with VGK is some nights our all-stars don't show up. They don't get a point. They don't get a goal, and you scratch your head. Now that Marner has awoken, and he's playing at that level, Dorothea is playing at a very high level. Can you imagine if Carlson wakes up or Riley Smith wakes up? Can you imagine if Eichel gets hot? How good this team could be. But I expect Anaheim to come back ferociously in Game 2. I mean, I don't gamble on sports, but I'll take a look at the line. I'm telling you, Anaheim is emptying out their tank for the next game because they feel like they got robbed. So I started with the Lakers. I rolled right into it. I rolled right into the Golden Knights. And again, 12 minutes into the show, I'm looking for a hockey fan and a basketball fan in a city that has a hockey team and might want an NBA team. I mean, I'm pulling my hair out around here. Let's talk sports. Those are two big sports stories I want to dive into, 702-365-9200. Now we get to the Raiders. What are we going to do here? I don't do a lot of Raider filler. You hear what I said? If there's not any news, I don't go big. So what do you want to do? You want to do 40 minutes on Mendoza speaking to the media? I can do that. Do you want to talk about what they did with undrafted free agents, most that won't make the team? Do you want to do that? I really don't want to do that. Here's what I want to talk about today with Raider Nation. I think it's a big topic, the secondary. The secondary is now vastly improved. So I got a good Raider topic for you today, I think. How quick do you want to go completely young, blow up the secondary, and let the new guys play? Let me repeat what I just said. How quickly, Raider Nation, do you want to jump into this draft class right now and get these guys on the field? That would be Traden Stukes out of Arizona. That would be Dalton Johnson out of Arizona. That would be Masses out of California. Cal, the cornerback coming in here. How quickly, and especially Jamad McCoy, the superstar, the first-round pick when completely healthy, and he claims to be healthy, that guy could start day one for me. So that's what my question is. It's a really in-depth one for Raider Nation. Here's the deal. Who you moving? Who you moving? I'm not moving Eric Stokes. I'm open to moving Isaiah Palomo. He's a good player. He's just a good player. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's a good player. I don't know. This Traden Stukes might end up being a Pro Bowler. He could be a 6-time Pro Bowler. So who do you want to move? Or who do you think should be put on alert over in Deep Henderson, over at Raiders headquarters? Which person do you think in the secondary needs to be concerned about losing their job to a rook? Now, you could say Darian Porter. That'd be pretty easy to say. You could say that. But I think Stokes is probably the only one that sticks. And Jeremy Chin is a good player. He's a very good player. He doesn't own that job. He's competing for that job. We took Traden Stokes in the second round. You know what my rule is. If you get drafted in the second round, you're JPJ, you're Jack Besh, you're Traden Stokes. I need you to start. I don't need you to develop. I need you to play. So we got some thumpers who can hit like Chin. Isaiah Palomal can hit, but the Raiders aren't very good in coverage. So that's your Raider topic today. It's incredible what I can come up with in the morning having a coffee by the pool. That's really what interests me today. Who do you think in the secondary do you believe has the ability to start week 1? Your choices are Dalton Johnson, Masses, Stokes. I mean, I'm looking at this list. I'm not going with Mike Washington, the running back. I'm not going to go running backs and receivers. I'm going secondary today. As my friend Chris in West Oakland said, for decades, no one has been able to catch the football in the Raider secondary since Charles Woodson and Rod Woodson, 2 Hall of Famers. No one can catch the ball. No one can get after the ball. Around here for the last 6-7 years, no one can really tackle. No one can guard a tight end. No one can do press man coverage. What am I missing? I've been watching the same games you are. I've been sitting in section 132. I'm looking around. Can anybody cover and make plays? So who are we going to get in here on the field? Who is your choice, Raider Nation, that you are putting in the starting lineup game 1? And, man, this is a reach. It's May 5th, man. Happy Cinco de Drinko. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Man, I am reaching today, but I'm into the secondary today. I want to spend some time before I sit down with Clint Kubiak tomorrow, and I want to know who you're most excited for to get a start. Because last year when I was interviewing Coach Carroll and we were at training camp and I was there watching Caillou, I said, oh, boy, I watched Caillou play in high school. Caillou's a nice kid. I didn't think he was an NFL starter. I watched him play every game in high school. The scouts didn't. They couldn't have. I was at the game in Bishop Gorman. My son was on the field or as a backup. So I was there. I didn't think Caillou was going to start. Oh, he was playing a lot. And then Darian Porter was drafted as I don't want to call him a reclamation project. He's more than that, but he was a wide receiver turned cornerback because of his length, size, and strength. I don't think he was used properly last year by the coaching staff. So he gets a fresh start. So Clay Baker, we got several players from last year's squad who's going to get a fresh start. So I'll start with Clay Baker because his phone works. I guess no one else's phone works. Clay, who should be on upset alert in the secondary going, wow, I saw some video from rookie camp and this guy might be gunning for my job?
I think a definite message was sent in the draft about getting to the ball and can guys come away with turnovers. When you're thinking about a defensive team that for the last 3 years have had single digits in interceptions, that has to stop. Isaiah Polamalu is a great player, and when he's surrounded by other players, though, you know, he learned a very good system with Marcus Epps and Spillane. When they came in there, he played great. But last year, he was left on his own, and he didn't have much to work with. But I would have to think, as good as that is, it's not good enough to what somebody like, Hezekiah Masses could do at corner. Even somebody like Traden Stokes could do at nickel. Isaiah is going to get pushed because of his ability to, he can vertically track the ball, but can he come away with the ball? We have not seen that. And even though he has played well and has been available, he's still not one of Spytek's guys. And Spytek's guys are going to get a favor. Yeah,
you nailed it right there. Hezekiah Masses is a 5th-round pick. I'm normally not very confident in 5th-round picks starting. That's why I wasn't confident with Caillou and some of the depth that they have. I like Eric Stokes a lot. I think he's a plug-and-play starter. And I think Chin is a good player. Chin's not going to hurt you, and he'll come down and tackle, and he'll put his helmet into someone's rib cage. Palomal, I like him as a player. I think he's got really good athletic ability and size. I just don't think he finds the football easily. as someone who's a deep center fielder who's got to be the last line of defense. That's why Traden Stukes talked about his chemistry with Dalton Johnson. You got two guys who played together at Arizona, be it college at Arizona, but they do have chemistry.
It's honestly like a dream come true. I mean, I couldn't have imagined, coming to reaching this point in my career and getting to do it with my best friend in the world. So, it's like we're coming into this brand new thing, joining a brand new team, but I'm doing it with, my closest friend in the world. And it was a surreal moment, when they picked him and, we were screaming on the phone together. So we're super happy to be here. We're ready to get to work.
How big is that for as far as communication on the field as well? Because you guys know each other so well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, we got to a point, playing at Arizona where I didn't even have to say anything. We had been in the same defense for a couple of years, and I could just look over and know he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, now we're speaking a different language, but it's football at the end of the day, and I know exactly how he operates. And we've been sitting in each other's hotel rooms, going over over the tape and stuff. So, we're gonna get it right.
Yeah, I like that. I really like the way Traden Stukes sounds here. He was the 38th pick overall. Okay, I would like to pencil him in as a starter. I would like to do that. I'm not a coach. I'm a sports talk host. They're not going to run it by me. That's why I give you the opportunity to call in on who do you have penciled in this rookie class in the secondary as a starter? Who do you think can come in and play? Because if you don't think any of these guys can play on this team that couldn't win last year, if you don't think they can play, we got a problem. We got a big problem around here. If you don't think one of these guys behind door number 1, 2, or 3 can start, then I don't know what the hell we're doing on this flagship station. We need to find someone who can play. Rookie mini camp's over. OTAs are coming up. Which player on this new secondary do you think is going to come in and say, this is my job, I want it? 702-365-9200 is the number. Friday, we have the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. We have an incredible class getting in, including Mark Davis, which I'm excited about for Mark on his impact in Southern Nevada and how the Raiders coming to Southern Nevada has changed the economy here, how it's changed youth sports, philanthropy, everything that it's done. Okay, it's not about winning and losing games in this Hall of Fame yet. It's about who's contributing to Southern Nevada along with a great class. I'm looking forward to being a part of the MC team for that. That is Friday night. So got a lot of things happening in a very busy week. Looking for Laker fans, Vegas Golden Knight fans, Raider fans. See my voice? This is what happens when you talk 5 hours a day without a co-host. But we want to get people in here who are excited to talk about sports. Tomorrow, we'll interview Clint Kubiak. We'll have that for you on some Raider platforms. But the show has begun. I'm ready to go. Are you? I've been banging the walls for this show the last 2 weeks, and I can't wait to get to Maui. 702-365-9200. Which Raider rookie do you have in the secondary who you can pencil in as a starter week 1 that you think has such good upside that you want to see this guy play? What's his number? What's his name as we open up the show? Brought to you by our great friends at Raising Cane's. Wow. Had it yesterday. Came home and miraculously it was there. First thing I said to my wife, which son is home? And she told me which son was home, who's the Caniac. And he thought enough to bring home some Raisin Cane's, a box combo for dad with a lemonade, the buttery Texas toast, the double coleslaw. It was fantastic. Raisin Cane's chicken fingers, one love, proud partner of the show. Maybe we should do ballpark food for an hour and a half. What's your favorite sandwich at a ballpark? Let's go, everybody. We're going, man. Today's a big day. Want to hear from some people as we open up the show along with the great Clay Baker. Jeff Sherman will join us, one of the sharpest bookmakers ever, right here in Vegas on the moving line of the Lakers. How do you bet the Lakers going forward? And Alex Eshelman will join us. She's great. She was outside the fortress for the Golden Knights last night, and she also covers the Raiders. She'll join us next hour. All right. God, these calls suck, dude. I wait around all day. I tell Clay, let's go. Let's get the phones going. This place is a bleeping morgue. A morgue. I don't have a problem admitting it. It's on me. If I can't generate a freaking phone call after 30 years, it's on me. We got Embiid. Clay, we have. Oh, it's yesterday. Okay, I'm sorry. That's yesterday.
Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black.
Good.
Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please
Burleson
bet
was good.
responsibly.
I think he was at the Met Gala and he got interviewed by Sports Illustrated. The question was, which rookie quarterback has the best chance to start? What he said about Mendoza, I thought was worthwhile.
Dave Burleson?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Is she into the outdoors? Freshen up her favorite spot with up to 40% off planters, pillows, and poofs. Or keep it classic. Fresh tulips for just $12 and a Dossier fragrance trio for $32. Whatever.
Not one Raider fan thought enough of that topic to pick a rookie to play. It's pretty amazing. So we'll move back to the NBA. Let's go back to the NBA.
At DeCastroveri Law, we spent decades helping injured Nevadans take back their lives. BrothersWin.com. Hey, it's JT Grimaldi's is
Is this what you're talking about with Burleson?
You think there's a world version?
Grimaldi's has
Cool.
4 locations in the Vegas Valley, or check them out online at Grimaldi'sPizzeria.com.
Ridiculous, but
For the Truck is your premier truck shop. Our suspension experts will take you right to the next level.
Steps, wheels, bumpers, suspensions, tires, covers, accessories, liners, lights installed for the truck. Has it all.
Specializing in precision.
How we doing, chat? We got a good group of people in here. Appreciate you being here today. Thank you.
Alignments to full suspension upgrades. We have everything you need.
If it's for the truck, give us a call. We got it. 702-840-3400.
Making money isn't all that hard, but keeping it is tough. It's why I like having a One Nevada One checking rewards account. All I had to do was set up direct deposit with my job, and boom, I get paid 2 days early, just in time for the weekend. And when I do have to spend, I just make sure it's with my One Nevada debit card, and I get cash back. So get your money sooner and keep more of it with a One Nevada One checking rewards account. Visit OneNevada.org to learn more and open a One checking rewards account.
Joe, how's it going? How's everything?
Federally insured by NCUA.
All right.
Hey, Jeff. How's the new job working out?
Really sucks.
Fluff.
Yeah, who has the ability to
Lake,
start?
Lakers in 7. Lakers in 7. Who's that? Thomas? Wow.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah,
You
talking
should check out
secretary
Truck
today.
U CDL training. My brother got his CDL license in 4 weeks, and now he has a new career making great money.
Okay, I'm listening.
Truck U offers small classes with night and weekend times available. They will even help with payment programs. Check them out. Truck, the letter U, LV.com. Truck U.
Zip Zap Auto has expanded into one of the largest.
My Knicks won by big numbers again last night. Wow. Big.
Zap is your one-stop shop, offering smog tests, oil changes,
Come
detailing,
back with a
body
Kelly-
work,
Kelly
and engine
interception.
transmission rebuilding. Plus,
The interception
Zip Zap
leader from
provides
last year's
free
not on
towing
the
and
team.
diagnostics with qualifying repairs. No appointment necessary. Zip Zap Auto on Cheyenne and North Durango Drive, and online at zipzapauto.com.
Power Shift by NV Energy is all about taking savings to the next level. Check it out.
I finished the Hulk Hogan documentary. Did you see that, Clay?
No, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it's brand new on Netflix, 4-parter. Pretty amazing. I'm not a wrestling guy at all, but it was very good.
Power Shift by NV Energy. This is what we do.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the Black Hole. Become a member of football's most victorious fans.
Back to throw. Got time, late pressure. Up a defender. And picked it up at the 45-yard line. It's Kelly again. The Vegas native. Trying to bring this one back to the Silver State. It deflected off a receiver into the hands of Kelly. And the Raiders will take over on the Denver 45.
Jason Horowitz on the call. That's a Caillou interception. He had a couple of big plays last year. JT back with you, but for whatever reason, and I think the right ones, John Spytek went out and completely rebuilt the secondary. The biggest takeaway in the draft was not Mendoza. That was the biggest lock of the draft. The biggest lock was Mendoza going 1. We didn't even look at it. We knew this for 7 weeks. That was easy. The fact is that right after that, when they took Stukes, McCoy, Johnson, Masses, and they just started picking their spots to get members of the secondary, I don't think it was alarming, but a lot of people around the NFL said, whoa, wait a second. What is John Spytek doing going heavy in the secondary of the Raiders? I don't know. I think John Spytek and everybody's had enough. They've had enough watching a defense that can't get off the field, a defense that can't intercept the football, a defense that is not opportunistic, a defense that can't guard Travis Kelce, a defense that doesn't make enough big plays other than Max Crosby. Devin White had a big year last year. Again, a lot of it was, no, let me correct myself. He had a very good year last year. A very good year with him. He gets paid to tackle people, and he did it at an alarming rate. And, Stokes, when healthy, he's a good player. And there was some good plays. But the Raiders' defense last year was exposed because they couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback other than Max. So the pressure that should have come from Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson, who was moved, and Adam Butler on the interior, who's a decent player, they didn't have enough good players other than Max. So without a good pass rush, the secondary got exposed. Then we brought in 2 great linebackers from the University of Georgia, one who played at Philly and Green Bay. I mean, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker are legit. These guys will know where to be. They'll line up right. Robbie Leonard knows that he's got, even with Kwity Paye, when he comes out and they move him around, Robbie Leonard's going to know that when he sets that defense on 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 11 or 2nd and 2, he's going to know what he's doing. He's got more opportunities because he's got linebackers who can play up near the line of scrimmage, linebackers who can go sideline to sideline. That means if someone makes a move and cuts across field, these linebackers are good enough to pursue. Not chase, but pursue and tackle. But if the secondary ends up playing better and they can cover a little bit longer and be sticky, which is a term that a lot of people use, then there's going to be some plays. But I just don't know until I see it how the Raiders are going to be able to play man, bump, and run. You get a really good nickel corner, slot corner from Buffalo. And then you drafted 2 kids from Arizona that are roommates and teammates and really want to play together. So there are players there. And I think the safeties, look, let's cut to the chase. Jeremy Chin and Isaiah Palomal know that their time is going to run out if they don't play well. Because clearly John Spytek went out there and built reserves of young players. And that's why the veterans like Chin and Palomal got to play well. And so does Kirk Cousins if he's going to start. Because if they play well, they'll stay on the field. If the Raiders don't play well right out of the gate, they'll put the youngsters in. Why wouldn't you? We didn't do it last year. Didn't put the young players in last year, and that did not help with their development. Joe in Brooklyn. Thanks, Joe. I was shut out until you called. Amazing that I get shut out from time to time. Thanks for breaking us out. Go ahead, Joe.
You got it, JT. Anytime, brother. All right, listen. During free agency, we addressed the defensive line. We got Kwity Paye, Kuntz back, Mad Max back in the building. Like you said, the 2 Georgia kids at linebacker. We addressed the linebacker. The biggest thing we didn't address in free agency was the secondary. And like you said, the writing's on the wall for Palomal and Chin. Their time is pretty much up. The biggest issue was, safety and corners. We have the bullets now. We have the guys to put out there. Listen, they're going to obviously go through a learning curve, but if McCoy, which, he was out there at rookie minicamp, if this kid stays healthy, I mean, we got something with Stokes and, the kid Johnson from Buffalo, until these kids get their, develop and get their feet wet a little bit, we have a really, really good secondary. And, like I said, preseason, during the regular season, to get these guys going, our defense is going to be a light years improved from last year. Just the coaching with Leonard actually being a defense coordinator,
Right.
Bring a safety, make them play corner, make the corner play safety. Just you never know where we're going to be coming from, but at least we have the guys. We're not relying on hopefully Porter. If Porter takes a step up too, like I said, I mean, we really have a lot of guys that could, change his defense around. And listen, hats off to John Switek. And I wasn't able to call yesterday, but
thanks for checking in.
John Sterling.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
JT, but
thank
have a
you.
good week. That's what
You
we got
too.
for the week.
Have a good one. And I'm going to do a tribute to John Sterling. We had a late guest yesterday. I was all set up to talk about John Sterling, the voice of the Yankees, passing away, but we booked a late guest, and I'm going to end up doing that in hour number 2. Alex Eshelman will join us in hour number 2 of the show. That opens up every phone line for you at 702-365-9200. ESPN.com has the Raiders depth chart, and this is not the Raiders depth chart. This is ESPN.com. On defense, and this is what they have: Max Crosby, Adam Butler, Thomas Booker, Malcolm Kuntz, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, Jonah Laulu, Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Palamal, Darian Porter, and Teron Johnson. Okay, that's what they have for the depth chart. It's not accurate here. That's why I opened up with how you want to change the depth chart in the secondary. Now, as you look at the depth of what they've been able to do and who they brought in, Brandon Cleveland, it's a nice story. Let's see what he can do. Here we'll have a lot of looks. What about J.J. Pegues and Tonka Hemingway? How worried do they have to be about their future here? I don't think they have to, because both J.J. Pegues and Tonka Hemingway got a little bit of run, but not enough the way they should have played at the end. A player like Tommy Eichenberg. I look down the list here and I'm wondering what other players are going to have an opportunity. And the name that jumps out the most is Traden Stukes, who can play multiple positions. The second he got drafted, and no one saw it coming, we were backstage. That was on the Fernando Day. We're backstage at headquarters, and I'm with Eric Allen and Tim Brown. And they took Stukes, and Eric Allen was like an encyclopedia. He said he could play every position. I said, what? He said he could play every position: corner, cover corner, safety, box safety, free safety. I said, I get it. That's why they wanted him. If you saw what John Spytek was saying about him, they wanted a versatile player who could be a hybrid and a starter. So that's going to be the player there that I think has the best chance to have an impact. And then when we talk about Kieran Crawford, who's a very raw player, we've been drafting a lot of raw players to play on the defensive line that haven't worked out. Tyree Wilson near the top of the list. But Kieran Crawford, they believe, has got a motor. I think his motor's got to be better than Malcolm Kuntz at OTA's day one. And Malcolm Kuntz has got to look at this kid and say, oh, my God, this guy on paper is coming for my job. That's going to be really interesting to see. And I'm not putting Jeremy Chin on alert. I think he's a very good player. And I'm not putting Isaiah Palamal on alert, but he's on alert because these guys who were drafted to get on the field. So you can look at it in two ways, that the Raiders are going to start with this base 3-4 defense. I'll believe it when I see it. Or 4-3 defense. I'm a 4-3 guy. I like the 4-3 better than the 3-4. I do. Unless you're sending a linebacker. If you're going to play a base 3-4 and you're blitzing off the edge at linebacker like Lawrence Taylor, and so you're really rushing 4, that's great. But I like 4-3 for Max Crosby, because then Max is going to get double teamed. If it's a 3-4 and Max is on the edge, he's going to get triple teamed. It's just a fact of the numbers game. But whatever base defense they're going to play, now the Raiders have depth, and I think they're going to want to get the younger kids on the field. I think there are going to be opportunities this season early where you're going to see on any given play, Teron Johnson is going to be out on the field, maybe with Darian Porter and Kwity Paye and Adam Butler and Max Crosby. And all of a sudden you're going to say, wow, look, it's third down and Kieran Crawford's in. And he's coming off the edge and Malcolm Kuntz is coming in behind him, kind of like an outside linebacker. So I think you're going to see not so much the NASCAR package, they'll have a name for it, but I think you're going to see just a more defensive backs that have linebacker size and speed that can get out there and cover. Because teams love to throw against the Raiders. They want to throw against the Raiders, Clay, because they have no respect for the Raiders when it comes to their passing defense at the linebacker position. They believe they can win the game in 8 to 12-yard chunks over the middle of the field because we haven't been able to control the middle of the field since they moved to Vegas.
Yeah, the middle of the field is wide open for a lot of big plays and even just to slice you up with little chunk plays here and there. And there's a problem that has to be stopped. And one of them is maybe finding chemistry in the middle of the field. And maybe that's what they did with getting Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, guys who played together before and also are very close to each other. Maybe that's also part of it, the symbolism behind, someone like Dalton Johnson and Trayton Stukes, who played together before and have chemistry together on the field. Maybe that's the way to start fixing things in a short amount of time.
As always, Clay Baker nailed it like he's been following the team for years. He nailed it. They brought in chemistry with two players from Arizona who played together and are best friends, and they brought in two former linebackers, starters from Georgia, who played together and are great friends. What the Raiders are basically telling you is they want better communication on the defensive side of the field. Because I like Patrick Graham a lot, but Patrick Graham last year, he couldn't really get his word in. He couldn't to the level that he wanted to and was used to. Pete Carroll made a lot of decisions on the fly because the Raiders weren't very good. And Pete Carroll's coached really good teams, elite teams, and he wanted to have his guys lined up the certain way and play a scheme that they were not qualified to play. He didn't have the players. So John Spytek went out and got the players for Rob Leonard. Now the players, there's no excuse. I mean, I'm not saying they're perennial Hall of Famers or Pro Bowlers, but now we have guys already penciled in that can go in for other players if those other players aren't playing well. When was the last time that happened around here? When was the last time you had a Raider game and someone was getting torched and you were like, they're going to bench his ass, he's not playing well? No, that didn't happen. Hasn't happened with really anybody. Now they have the ability to sit people down saying, no, the film shows that you're not getting the burst. We got draft picks from last class and the class before who are ready to get on the field. I think that's really exciting. Also exciting, Jeff Sherman will join us next. What a VP of risk management. We'll talk to him about some of the moving odds. How do you bet the Lakers? If you want to bet the Lakers at the start of the series, how do you do it? Do you go one game at a time? Or do you bet the Lakers on the money line to get an upset early? We'll find out with Jeff Sherman as we're brought to you by the M Resort Spa and Casino. Woo, all right. I got a show that leads into me talking about freaking movies. We wonder why the phones aren't ready for freaking 20 minutes. All right, I'll get to that, Nate Carlson. Cool. Oh, we're entering the dead zone, man. I can feel it.
Working station events, interacting with listeners, running contests, and supporting on-air talent. You'll also help with equipment setup, drive station vehicles and events, and make sure every promotion runs smoothly. We're looking for team players with a valid driver's license.
Rolling Stones got a new record.
What song are you working on today? I heard you singing yesterday. I thought it was brilliant. Johnny. I just had so much fun. Fucking amazing. You guys want to play that a little more?
Rolling Stones coming out with new music means they're going to tour again. Yeah, it is Grandpa Rock, but it's better than all the shit that's out there now. I can tell you that. You see all these concerts that aren't selling now because no one's buying these crappy concerts for $400.
General manager of Finley Toyota, been thinking about getting a new Got huge incentives on the powerful Toyota Tundra and Tacoma. These trucks are built to handle anything you throw at them. With these deals, they're more affordable than ever. But these offers won't last. Come see us at Finley Toyota before they're gone. We'll make sure you drive off in the truck you've always wanted. I heard you singing yesterday. It was pretty good, Tony. I was having some fun. Fucking amazing. You guys want to play that a little more? Let's go. Money.
All right. We thank everybody who's going to be here. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll get rolling here.
I kind of like stopping by. Good call, and it's really worth the drive. We've been processing our $5,000 short-term loans over 28 years, and our customers just love doing business with the DLC. In nearly every instance, we're around
just
half the
explain to
cost
JT
of
how's it going,
Canadian
man.
title lenders. Founded in Las Vegas
Yeah,
over
that's good.
28 years ago.
It's all right.
See
I'll
loans up
come
to
back and
$5,000 in minutes.
Come
Stop
back,
by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Technology never stands still.
All right, coming back with Hurricanes goal.
Less Olson IT. For 70 years and counting, we've helped businesses adapt, grow, and stay secure through every change. With experienced people and smart technology solutions, we make work easier, more productive, and more secure.
Come back with Carolina
Yesterday,
overtime goal.
today,
Okay,
and
thank you.
tomorrow.
Jets right.
Let Bless be here for you.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Modelo Especial, the new #1 beer in the U.S.
He's with a chance, drifting in, getting a shot free his ball. Still they score! They score! It's over! Carolina, Taylor Hall wins it in overtime!
Man, that's a nice win for Carolina, like Florida, the Panthers, when they're in it the last couple of years, when certain teams know how to close, man, and hopefully the Vegas Golden Knights can do that. JT, welcome back, everybody, as we are brought to you by La Casa Cigars and Lounge at Tivoli Village. If you're looking for a new place to have a cigar, but more importantly, live entertainment, head to Tivoli Village. Go see Mike at La Casa. Jeff Sherman joins us, one of the best odds makers in the world, especially here in Las Vegas. And Jeff, I want to begin. Let's start with the Lakers and the series price here, because I don't see a lot of people thinking the Lakers have a chance, and they are a heavy underdog for game one.
Yeah, you find the Lakers about 10-1 on the market in this series. And since it's such a high price where you come back with Oklahoma City minus 1,600, usually you just see Lakers support in that. Not too much Oklahoma City support unless it's tied up in parlays. People don't like to lay such a big price. So just a lot of Lakers support, a lot of small tickets.
So a lot of small tickets on the Lakers here. Do you tend, with your experience, to see that Laker fans, and there's a lot of them, would not want to bet the series, but pick a spot in a game or so? So if they get blown out, say in game one, that they're going to have a bounce back game here. Is that the sharp way that a lot of the public thinks they can get involved with this?
Yeah, that's a way to look at it. You know, Oklahoma City opened 16. It's down to 15.5 now. But were to Oklahoma City cover, I think the spread would be less next game. And we saw that last series against Phoenix, where Phoenix did cover game 2 after the adjustment.
How are you pricing the Knicks now? I mean, oh my God, the last 4 games. I mean, they're winning from 25 to 50 points here. They look like a completely different team in this series against Philadelphia. Philadelphia didn't look like they were fresh coming off the Boston series. What's the price the rest of the series?
Yeah, that was a really bad spot for the 76ers, having a game 7 and then having to play on short rest versus the Knicks. So not an unexpected result there, but I would expect a bounce back for Philadelphia. The series price is now New York minus 420, Philadelphia plus 350. So it took a large uptick on that, but the game spread is 6.5. Some 7s out there. But this is the type of spot that I usually look for, is a team off a blowout loss and the circumstances. So I think Philly's live in this next game.
Jeff Sherman is our guest. So How does your book have the Pistons here as we start off this series with the Cavaliers? Considering they have new life, they were down 3-1, and to dig out of that hole against Orlando, what type of momentum do they have?
Yeah, they're $1.20 favorite against the Lakers, so a really tight one. In the game tonight, laying 3.5, it opened -3. Some support up to 3.5, but the tightest series going in -120 and even in that one.
Then I go to Oklahoma. We mentioned Oklahoma City with the Lakers, but pretty remarkable that the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Wolves were able to get that first game. Victor Wembanyama broke the all-time block record in an NBA playoff game here, but does it look like Minnesota is a live dog in this series? I thought that San Antonio was the much better team weeks ago.
Yeah, here's what you're seeing in that series. I mean, there's a little bit of injuries on the Minnesota side, but you have a playoff-tested team over the last few years that's very gritty against a very young team. And obviously covering and winning last night, now it opens San Antonio -9 for next game, up to 9.5. But this is the type of situation I can see on the Minnesota side each game as an underdog. There'll be an underdog at home against the Spurs too. Like I said, you're getting a gritty playoff-tested team in this spot.
Jeff Sherman joins us. Follow him on X at Golf Odds. The Avalanche have been a heavy favorite. They won the President's Trophy here. What's the series look like against the Wild, especially fans who are loving the puck number here on the over here in these games coming off that first game that was wild?
Yeah, 15 goals, and total on this next game is 6.5. We're seeing a lot of over support there, but the series price really jumped up from -240 up to 420 on Colorado. So if you like Minnesota, you can get +350, just like the 76ers, same type of spot.
Tell me what you're seeing with the Golden Knights as you set the number here, knowing that Utah was faster and younger, same style for Anaheim, a faster team, younger, but the Vegas Golden Knights have tremendous experience. They got a break in that first game to go up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, very similarly priced games. So the Knights are $1.55 next game, Anaheim +140. Series price up to -330, Anaheim +270. But like you said, it's a mirror of last series, and obviously a big game for the next one. Total 6.5. It opened 5.5 last game, up to 6.5. Expect a little bit more goals this next game.
We moved to baseball. Have the odds significantly changed on the Yankees with this run on the odds to win the World Series? Is there a change on how well they're playing before they even get back their best pitcher?
No doubt about it. They were double digits. Now they're 11-2 behind the Dodgers at 2-1. So the only other team in single digits, the Yankees now, Atlanta 10-1 after them.
And Jeff, before we get to golf, your specialty too, what'd you get out of the Kentucky Derby? You've been doing this a long time. A lot of people at your book lining up hours in advance. One of the greatest rides I've ever seen from the back to win. How'd that all come together, and what was the liability? What did it look like on race day?
We had some liability in the feature book that we had, but not a lot of people had it in the pure mutual aspect. So it was, when it came across the finish line, a little bit quieter there, but it was raucous throughout the race.
And finally, handicapping golf now, the way Matthew Fitzpatrick's playing and Cam Young compared to Scotty Scheffler. What's the calendar look like? It seems like it's getting tighter at the top.
Yeah, we're on our second straight signature event at Truist at Quail Hollow this week. No Scotty because PGA Championships next week. He doesn't traditionally like to play the week before a major. So we have Rory McIlroy, who loves his course, 6-1 favorite. Cameron Young 9-1, Xander 11-1. Then we head to PGA Championship next week where Scotty's the 4-1 favorite, followed by Rory at +850. Cameron Young at 12-1.
It's going to be a great PGA Championship. Thank you, Jeff. Always good to talk to you, my friend.
All right, thanks, JT.
That's Jeff Sherman. Does a great job, one of the best bookmakers in town. We bring you gamblers a lot more during football season when we add in Lee Sterling, more Bill Krakenberger, more handicappers from around town. But nice to talk to him. Wow, the Lakers are such an underdog. If you're a Laker fan, I know you got a 50 or 100 to throw on the Lakers. The best way I think you bet is an individual game. If you have a certain handle amount of money to bet on the Lakers and you're a Laker fan, I don't think you're going to bet the series, even though you're going to get great value. If you bet the Lakers to win, you're going to get tremendous value. I think you got to pick and choose your spot to fire on the Lakers when you think that they are a live dog. And that, to me, would probably be game 2 if they get blown out in game 1. If they do, game 2 would be the LeBron must-win game to at least get a 5 or 6 game series. All right, hour 1 flew by. If you want to get in hour number 2, let's get going. Alex Eshelman will join us. Also, my tribute to John Sterling, the play-by-play voice that had one of the biggest impacts in my life, the voice of the Yankees, died yesterday. We got kind of bogged down yesterday with a couple of guests late. I want to make sure I get to that on the other side. And comments about Fernando Mendoza. Tomorrow I'll host the show live from Raiders headquarters. We are scheduled to have Clint Kubiak on. It'll either be live during the show, right after the show, that we'll have it for tomorrow, but we're looking forward for an opportunity to sit down with the head coach of the Silver and Black. Want to hear his story, how he's getting used to Vegas, what's he like about the rookie class, but more importantly, the veterans. That's all coming up tomorrow with the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame, also on deck for Friday. JT and Clay Baker, hour number 2, coming up next. All right, I'll be right back, everybody.
Who I believe truly does understand the responsibility that is not only on his shoulders, but at his feet. The opportunity that is at his doorstep. And he's not wasting a single moment.
The Morning Tailgate, weekdays at 7 a.m. on
God, it's slow today, Clay. Jesus. I'm a pretty good topic guy, man. Building topic. It is just freaking lean, man. Ugh.
On 12:30 the game. We're here for you. Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
I'm going to go for about 12, 13 minutes.
Okay.
Then I'll break, and then we'll do the John Sterling coming out of break into Alex Eshelman.
Okay.
Okay.
Saturday, June 13th at a resort pool. Don't miss E40 and special guests Too Short and the Ying Yang Twins. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or in Resort Player Services.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck,
All right. We are back. We are back and ready to go. Albert Breer wrote a really good column today. If you didn't get a chance to see it, on the Mendoza process, I would highly recommend it. I thought it was really good.
The bottom line is it's worth the effort. We save customers a lot compared to other payday or title places, and we lend way more. We even give all the customers the first week's interest on us, sort of a free trial. There's no fee to apply, and they can keep this loan out for up to a year if they really need to. Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, TLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by any of our 25 nearby locations to meet our real friendly staff. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
All right, let's see what's happening in our chat.
Great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then
Kenny Clark, what's happening?
person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com.
My buddy Big D in here or no today? I've been looking up much. Everybody give their best to Big D.
Technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay,
All right, for this, we have, I like the Barber Chef Gold and Marner again, the final. Those three. I'll get to the Nate Burleson.
smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com.
All right.
It's JT. Grimaldi's is hands down my favorite pizza in Vegas. Only Grimaldi's can get their famous New York style coal fire brick oven pizza. Grimaldi's has 4 locations in the Vegas Valley, or check them out online at Grimaldi'sPizzeria.com.
Okay, ready to go. Hour number 2. Here we go. Rob from Deep Henderson.
Lenders makes it quick and easy. In less time than this ad, you can fill out a few fields at lendingstore.com and find out if a lender can get you $500 to $5,000 as early as tomorrow. So visit lendingstore.com today for details. See website for details. Lending Store is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old and not available in all states. Your home for Las Vegas Aviators baseball. Raider Nation Radio 920 AM. KRL. Las Vegas. It's the JT the Break Show.
Get up every day, take one step at a time, and keep going and show up. We have a big mountain to climb, but we're not trying to do it all in one day.
Your silver and black home to Sam Dow for over 25 years.
It's really important to me that we're a great team and the way that they were back in the old days. It's nothing that we say, it's what we do on the field. All the little things that went that have nothing to do with ski.
And now, here's JT the Break.
All right, hour number 2 as we continue here on the flagship of the Silver and Black. This is Raider Nation Radio, JT in Vegas. You can catch me tonight also on Sirius XM at 8 o'clock tonight. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on Sirius XM. Monday to Friday right here on Raider Nation Radio. I'm off this Friday for the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame event that I'll be emceeing at Lee's Family Forum. We have a great class of 4 individuals that are getting in. There's some scholarship awards. Truly is one of the best rooms I've ever been in Las Vegas. You got a lot of big events in Vegas. There's a lot of charity golf tournaments, big events. It doesn't get much bigger than the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame if you're a local and you live in Vegas and you've been to the event. So it's my job to keep it moving fast. I'm not a comedian. I don't tap dance. I don't sing. I just keep these events moving. And I'm looking forward to this one on Friday. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be a big part of the week, near the end of the week. I was asked to come tomorrow to Raiders headquarters to interview the head coach, Clint Kubiak. We'll just have a discussion. It's an off-season discussion. Nothing life or death about the process of Fernando Mendoza, some of the other players that were drafted, his style of coaching. I'm going to ask him about some of his other coaches here and how the chemistry is coming together for he and his family. I'm hoping he and his family are settling into Las Vegas. So that will be tomorrow. The topic I threw up at the beginning of the show, I thought we'd get a lot more feedback. We got none. I said, which new member of this class has a chance to start in the secondary? I don't know. People blank and moan at me all year and yell at me on Twitter that I don't ask the tough questions, I guess. That's not tough. I mean, does anybody think any of these rooks are going to play? Or are we going to park them like we did last year? What are we doing? So you got a whole bunch of choices in the secondary. Who do you believe is the player in the Raiders secondary that can come in and start week 1? And what player would you have on, I wouldn't say upset alert, because I think a lot of players are going to play here. But your choices would be Traden Stukes of Arizona. He's a safety, but he can play a lot of different positions. Clearly, we know that Jermon McCoy, pick number 101 out of Tennessee, has a first-round grade, but he's coming off an injury. Dalton Johnson, the safety out of Arizona, I looked at a little of his film, and he's a guy that can do, like he reminds me of a linebacker that can cover. But I don't know. I didn't watch every game. I watched more ASU. That's where my son went, than Arizona, but he's a very good player. Hezekiah Masses, the corner out of Cal, was taken 175th pick. Clay Baker, you seem to be excited about him.
Yeah.
Overall, what do you like? His size, his skill set? What do you think jumps out there?
You know, it's something that if you already have, like in a year, we got 18 passes defended, 5 interceptions. I mean, these are something that I like, you know, and somebody who's, it kind of like shows you that, you know, even in round 5 at 175, the Raiders had identified somebody that they knew that could help them right away. And he does have 8 coverage penalties in his college career. That does need to get cleaned up. That can get cleaned up.
You can clean that up. You know, it's more about technique. But if you're a ball hawk and you're going for the ball, you're going to have some PIs, some pass interferences there overall. If you want to get in on that, I think the obvious answer would be the choices. Who's going to be a starter day 1? Would it be Jermon McCoy because he's just so much more talented than anybody on the Raiders roster that plays that position? Or would you say Traden Stukes? Because you can put him in at safety. But if you're going to put him in at safety, who do you sit? Isaiah Palomal, Jeremy Chin. I got to see what type of a thumper he is. I would think more, free safety than box safety, but he's got a lot of ability to hit and come downhill. And I know Dalton Johnson can hit overall. Mendoza, I saw something today I didn't click on. It was clickbait engagement on the fact that Mendoza maybe doesn't have the NFL traits. An anonymous source said he doesn't have NFL traits. So I didn't click on to read it because I didn't want to be in part of the engagement farming. But there's been a lot of talk about Mendoza here over the last couple of weeks because more and more of these shows are picking up on him. And more people are starting to see all of the sound bites of Fernando Mendoza and how easily he gets along with everyone. He talks about his Indiana teammates who came in here, and his Indiana teammates, I think, give him a comfort cushion as he comes to the Raiders. Not saying that they're all going to make the team, but a few of them are here and hopefully here for the long haul.
Yeah, Henry Williams and then Jonathan Brady was also here on the invite. So to have those Indiana guys, I've had plays all three of him off to Henry, throwing the ball to EJ and to Jonathan Brady. And to have those guys there, it's great to have rapport with them. However, looking forward to building with them and looking forward to creating rapport with my new teammates.
Everything he says seems to be right. He's very dialed in, including the question, which wasn't a trap question, it was a fair question, about the White House. Would he go to the White House to meet the president with Indiana football as they win the national championship? Here's his answer.
The trip to the White House. 11th, May 11th, later this month. Are you able to make that trip? Are you planning on going there?
I believe May 11th is the first day of OTAs. If I'm not mistaken, I have the calendar. However, I don't have the calendar. Sorry, well, maybe I do. I'm sorry. I gotta check Teamworks. If it is on the first day of OTAs, like I said, I'm on the bottom of the totem pole here. I gotta prove myself. I can't miss practice. I'm not anything official. I don't have the calendar, but I just wouldn't. As a rookie, I don't think that's a good look. And I want to, try to best serve my teammates. And I don't know if that'd be accomplishing that goal.
That's a great answer. Look, he can't quote every second of his day. I don't think he's overwhelmed, but he's got a lot going on. And he's not going to go to the White House. And a lot of people are trying to get him to get caught saying something wrong. He's not going to say anything wrong. He is a rookie quarterback who is not a starter yet. He's not going to miss a day of practice to do anything that has to do with a victory lap for Indiana, unless it's an off day. And there's going to be plenty of off days. Clay, when we come through June and July, the players are going to have days where they're not required to be in Henderson, in the state of Southern Nevada. They're going to be able to go wherever they want and do whatever they want on their own time.
Yeah, he absolutely loves being around his Indiana teammates, but he also knows the task at hand. And it would be a bad look in some regard for somebody who wants to definitely remove all doubt that he's ready to start right now.
All right. Wanted to hit on Nate Burleson. He was also at the Met Gala. The Met Gala is just stupid. Have you been watching these athletes who show up for Fashion Week and go to the Met Gala? Joe Burrow is spending more time on the runways of Paris and the Met Gala than he is working out on the beach, the way Tom Brady used to. And Tom Brady used to go to the Met Gala because he won 7 Super Bowls. Joe Burrow's won none. But the Met Gala is a big topic. They stopped Nate Burleson from CBS and asked him about the opportunities of rookie quarterbacks. Who has the edge?
Which rookie do you think has the biggest potential of making an immediate impact?
Fernando Mendoza. I met him, so it's a little bit different. It's easy to say, the number 1 draft pick, but his focus and the way that he looks at the game is a lot different than any other young guy that I've met.
Do you think there's a world where he could earn the starting spot over Kirk?
No, I think Kirk's going to have to fumble that opportunity away. He's not going to beat out Kirk Cousins right now. Kirk is still a veteran quarterback, and if you look at the money they paid him, he's going there to play quarterback. You know what I mean? He's not. You don't pay a guy that much just to teach the young buck how to throw the ball.
Well, the Raiders didn't pay Kirk Cousins that much. $10 million of it is paid for by Atlanta, but I get the point. Kirk Cousins does not want to relinquish the starting position. He has a tremendous advantage over Mendoza because he's worked this playbook, and he's been really good with it. So the question is going to be, how quickly can Clint Kubiak get Mendoza up to speed with this playbook so it's more of an even keel race to play? Kirk Cousins has a massive advantage today over Fernando Mendoza because he's much more familiar with the playbook. He just knows what Clint Kubiak wants more. So when you look at that, that's a big part of what's going to happen going forward. More and more people that I talk to believe that Mendoza has a chance to start if he plays great, and it's that obvious. Will he have obvious chances to be better than Kirk Cousins? What are those chances going to be? Practice? I doubt Kirk Cousins is going to screw up at practice, everybody. I doubt that he's going to have a 4-interception day in practice and Mendoza is going to throw for 3 touchdowns. I doubt that will happen. It could, but I doubt it. So when we look at this overall, he's got the edge, and there's nothing wrong with that. But traditionally, quarterbacks who would take a number 1 overall start week 1. All right, Lakers are in trouble or not? Carlito in San Jose. Finally, I get a Laker call. I wish I had a jersey or something to give away, Carlito. What's happening?
Hey, man, the pressure's on today for us. I believe in my Lakers. If we get the win today, if we get the win on game 5, 6, 7, then it's a miracle. I know how the Oklahoma Thunders play. We played them in regular season. I've seen them when the Warriors play against them. They're pretty tough. They're a good team, but I believe in my Lakers, and I know they can get the job done.
Yeah, I think the big part about what you're saying here is you got to win game 1 or 2. You cannot win 4 out of 5. But if the Lakers lose the first 2 games, there's only 5 games left. They have to win 4 out of 5. That's impossible. But if they win game 1 or 2, then there's going to be 5 games left, and they only have to win 3 out of 5. They're not going to be able to win 4 out of 5. So you got to get a win, Carlito, tonight or the next game. Just steal 1 game, and it could redefine the whole series.
And also, I want to get in touch, too, with the Utah jersey swapping thing. Hey, man, if that's the Lakers, like, hey, do you want to come and switch jerseys and get a Clippers jerseys? Heck no. That was I did not like that. That was not really like a beach hockey fan. I'm a beach hockey fan.
Right.
I'm a San Jose Sharks fan. But if they were to say that, too, in my city, like, man, JT, forget it. I'd get really mad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think people have to get really mad. I got worked up. Thanks for the call. I believe I'm an expert on just a few things, and a lot of it is in sports. There's some things I like. But when it comes to being a sports fan, I believe I'm an expert. Doesn't mean I'm a better fan than you. That has nothing to do with it. I just know how to categorize fan bases. They would be soft, hardcore, intense, loyal. I've done this my whole life, so I'm well equipped to look at sports fans and judge them, just like I get judged every day for every show I do. So that being said, my life, I was very loyal my whole life. So when you're loyal to a team, normally you would stick with them your whole life. But what people don't understand is that when you move from one city to another, I moved from New York. Now, I've lived more years out west than I have in New York. So I wasn't going to leave the Knicks and the Yankees, right? So the reason, to become Raider Nation, well, when you get hired by a team, if you're the play-by-play voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars and you grew up a Packer fan, you are no longer a Packer fan. You work for the Jaguars. You call their games. You're a Jaguar fan. So for me, it's pretty simple. I don't really have that argument anymore. 30 years with this team, blood, sweat, and tears with this team. But when it comes to an inaugural expansion team, that means a brand new team. It's easy to make the switch. I think it's very easy because when a team comes to your city and they've never been there before and they're an expansion team, everybody should get behind that team. That's the way I looked at it with the Golden Knights. It was a very easy decision for me. Utah's got it a little bit difficult because Utah didn't have a team. They had the Arizona Coyotes. Then they had the Golden Knights. Now they have their own team. So I understand that. Become a Utah Mammoth fan. I could give a crap. Just don't embarrass yourself by dumping your jersey in a bin. I thought that was embarrassing. And I thought it was disrespectful. I know they donated the jerseys. I know they didn't light them on fire. I know they didn't degrade the jersey. I just thought it was stupid. And I let Utah have it. And they've been silenced. Coming up next, my tribute to John Sterling. This is emotional because he's the voice of the Yankees. He's one of the most important play-by-play voices in my life, but not for the reason that you would think. It's not because I grew up with the Yankees under my pillow with my radio. It had nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that as a radio host, I love to play his highlights for his entire career. That's coming up next. Also, Alex Eshelman, one of our insiders who's covering the Vegas Golden Knights and the Raiders. She'll join us at the bottom of the hour as we continue. We're live on YouTube at JT the Brick. You can find it easily. And we're brought to you by Boyd Gaming. Always bet on black. All right.
From John Spytek and the crew through hard times last year, but you can definitely see the improvement by the players they've acquired, how they're going about their business, and oh, by the way, they're not talking. Right. Hey, I'm about to win 10 games this year. Hold on, I didn't ask you all that. Cool games is like, we're going to work. They're going to earn everything. That's what I've been most excited about and most proud about the way this offseason is going.
Don't miss Unnecessary Roughness, weekdays at 2.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun,
All right.
but always bet on black.
John Sterling.
10 casinos across the valley.
Okay.
Don't let the game get out of hand. Please
Do you want to just come out with wherever you start? You have to say his intro, Mad Dog, or whatever. Come out after that.
Wait, is there a Mad Dog in there at all?
Yeah, you said background Mad Dog.
I don't want that at all.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Okay.
I'll trim it up and do that.
Yeah.
Just come out with a break with it.
Yeah, without, yeah, perfect. But do you have a call by him?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, thanks.
Plus, they have an exceptional service department with a team of highly skilled technicians that go above and beyond to keep vehicles running smoothly.
Whether it's routine maintenance,
So it'll just be jumping right in after the Mad Dog goal. So no throw for me. You're just going to take it. There's no throw for me. There's nothing for me, right?
No, enough for your Sterling tribute. No.
Nothing. Perfect. Thanks. Sure.
Accidents happen every day and can be devastating and life-changing. Hi, this is Paul Pata from Paul Pata Law. Whether it's a car accident, a motorcycle accident, or slip and fall on commercial premises, if you are injured due to someone else's negligence, our team of expert injury attorneys will focus on you and your case and help you get your life back on track. Remember, it's not about the injury, it's about the recovery. Check us out.
Grant Napier's show canceled in Sacramento. I don't get it. I've known Grant a long time. Surprised his show got canceled in Sacramento. Very surprised. Okay.
Something new every day, everywhere. Visit Terribles.com for details.
Patty Davidson here from BetMoneyHoney.com. Have you ever felt like the odd man out at a friend's house watching the game? After years in the sports betting industry, I can teach you the rules of different sporting events so you can now be part of that crowd of cheering fans with an understanding of the game. Plus, I can teach you how to place a bet on a game which will completely change your perspective because you too can be a winner. Join me at BetMoneyHoney.com. That's BetMoneyHoney.com.
Hey, babe, where are you going?
Fantastic indoor swap meet.
The swap meet? I love Fantastic. Can I come along?
Sure, if you bring your wallet.
What are we shopping for?
Everything. You got everything, and it's a lot more fun than shopping online.
Okay, let's spend the
A
afternoon.
WNBA insider breaking down the NBA. All right. More power to you.
And like they say, it's fantastic.
And like they say, we've got it.
Worried about your car payment? Don't be. Drive happy with a Westar Credit Union auto loan. Whether you are ready for something new or want to refinance your current ride, we've got you with affordable payments and easy approvals. Picture yourself behind the wheel, windows down, music up, on the road to what matters most. Apply today at westar.org or stop by your nearest branch. All loans are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Must be a member to borrow. Membership requires a savings account with a minimum balance.
Hey, Las Vegas, are you tired of plumbing prices that break the bank? At 365 Plumbing, we're bringing fair pricing back. Family owned and operated, we treat your home like it's our own. For your everyday plumbing needs, we're here 365 days a year, rain or shine, day or night. Extend the life of your water heater right now. For a limited time, take advantage of our water heater flush special for only $26. Visit us at 365plumbingnv.com.
365 Plumbing, because where the water flows, 365 Plumbing goes.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by M Resort Spa and Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas Raiders.
The stretch and pitch. Swung on and popped up again. Off third. Hayes has room. Hayes makes a catch. Yankees win. Oh, Yankees win. The New York Yankees have won the 1996 World Series. They have surmounted every challenge. They have climbed every mountain. And the New York Yankees are world champions.
Everybody has a heavy heart because John Sterling was part of the Yankee family and part of our lives. And everybody has their play-by-play guys and maybe a play-by-play gal. Wherever you live, you know how tied we are all together with sports and how we're tied through local sports, hearing our play-by-play voices and the impact that it's had on our life. And for John Sterling, it was very unique for me, and I'll get to that momentarily. But earlier today, I woke up this morning. I'm out in the Pacific time zone, out west in Vegas. And I woke up this morning and I found out that John Sterling passed away, like most people. It was on X. It was all over the news. It was on my feed this morning. And the Yankees put out a video/audio that I thought would work here on this show right here, because a lot of times you're looking at things and want to see it when you hear the audio. No, you can hear John Sterling and understand this. So I thought it was appropriate here, as I've been talking about it earlier in the show, that we drop in here what John Sterling meant to the Yankee fans and obviously the Yankee organization as they put out this audio video piece on their social media earlier today.
Stepping up to the microphone is the voice of the New York Yankees. Here he is, John Sterling.
Well, Susan, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone.
Swung on it. Into the air, they deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Bird, baby bird.
A thriller by Godzilla.
Tito, the Giambino.
Robbie Cano. And don't you know, boys, positively swishalicious. Hell, camping time.
Let the party begin.
It's a game-on from A-Rod, the most happy fella. Talk man, the sock man.
Swung on. There it goes. Keep looking as high. It is far. It is gone. Number 62.
Guy Free. He's done it. That's 602 career saves.
Swung on. He's going to get it. He got the catch. A perfect game. 27 up. 27 down. Baseball immortality. Base hit. Right field. Richardson scores on a base hit by Derek Jeter. Is that unbelievable? Or is that unbelievable?
So Derek Jeter, in his final game, you can't make this stuff up. That's baseball, Susan.
Swung on and hope to shallow center. It is a base hit. Othello goes to second in one of the greatest comebacks you'll ever see. Meeting the glorious ex-Yankee fans. You glorious.
The Brandy Man can. No, the Brandy Man can. Solante. Whoa, whoa. The sun will come out. Tanaka.
That ball is going to be down a grand slam to win the game.
Giancarlo. Nos Barlo. You're the more Teixeira and Damon go back to back. Little Billy to Billy.
Swung on and hit in the air. The deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is good. I don't believe it. The most unbelievable feat in World Series history.
Swung on and popped up again.
Off third. Hayes has room. Hayes makes the catch.
Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
So on that piece, you hear a lot of the home run calls, the incredible home run calls. And John wasn't perfect. John made mistakes from time to time, especially when he got older. And sometimes older broadcasters make mistakes. You know that. But John Sterling went in there every day with his passion to call it a great game. And a very big broadcasting career, the voice of the Nets in basketball. in Atlanta, the Braves, the work he did with the Hawks. And he just had a really big career. And he cared about a lot of different things. Broadway music, right? Music was a big part of his life. He was a showman behind the microphone. But what was unique for me is that I grew up a Yankee fan as a kid in Long Island, New York, Massapequa, and I did not grow up a radio kid. And this is something that from time to time I bring up, not often, that is unique and bothers me in radio. A lot of people are frauds and say they grew up with the transistor radio under their pillow, and they went to bed at night with the voice, blah, blah, blah. They're full of it. Many people have, but a lot of people say that, and it's not true. I did not grow up with the radio of the Yankees. I grew up with television. WPIX, the Yankee games were all on TV. And my dad was a diehard Yankee fan. He worked a long day. He got up real early in the morning in Long Island and took the train all the way into Penn Station, then switched trains and took the subway all downtown to Chambers Street, where he worked at the Federal Building. Just imagine the commute that my father did each way when he came home at night. And my dad was my coach in Little League, my manager. He was always my coach in youth sports. And we'd have the Yankee game on. Home or away, the Yankee game would be on at my house. And I had two younger sisters. And we had a small TV in the kitchen back in the day, a big TV. And my dad wanted to watch the Yankee games. It was on. And on television, they had a team of Frank Messer, Bill White, Scooter Rizzuto would do TV. And the TV call was what I had. And I was able to watch the game. And I never went back to my room and listened to it on the radio. Radio didn't have an impact on my life as a kid that way, as a kid for me. Kids growing up in the Bronx, growing up in the city of New York, they were able to listen to their play-by-play guy. So when John Sterling got the job in the Yankees, it was about the time that I moved out west. And I left my job as a stockbroker. I moved out west to San Diego. Fast forward, I went to Jim Rome smack off in 95. And John Sterling's already the voice of the Yankees, and I get in radio. And right when I get into the radio business, there is no internet. There were cell phones. I had a big cell phone in the car. But it was a time where, when I got into radio, we were able to garnish sound. And when I go on the radio, just like I do tonight, and when you hear me at other times, I use sound as an asset. I don't have 2, 3, 4 co-hosts. Not a lot of people interrupting me. But as you can tell from listening to me, if it's been for 30 minutes or 30 years, I like to take the show and put sound bites in because I think it enhances the show. And when I got into radio and John Sterling was already established as the voice of the Yankees, and then the Yankees had their dynasty, right, 96 to 2000, and their great teams that they had with Jeter early on and Bernie Williams, as you heard, the home runs and all that. What I would do is I would take those Yankee play-by-play calls from John Sterling and I'd put it into my show. And I would ask for it all the time. And I've done it ever since. So for my entire career, which took off on radio, or I got my break in 96, and then going through now 2026, which is 30 years, for most of it, it was John Sterling's sound being played. Because I was a Yankee fan, I wanted to hear his voice when they won all those big games. And it was a big part of my life. So I met John Sterling twice. And the one story that I met when I started in the Bay Area, when the Oakland A's would come to town, and I was living in the Bay Area in 1999 and 2000, I had to go about getting John Sterling on the radio the way you had to go about it. I had to go through Yankees PR, and I forget the details with the producer. But I got John Sterling to come on the radio with me. And he did a segment, and he liked me. He really enjoyed the fact that I was a Yankee fan. I was living out west, and we connected. Not to the point, I probably thought it was bigger than John Sterling thought, of obviously him being on my show. But then I went and saw him in the press box in Oakland, and I'll never forget this. The famed Oakland Coliseum was in the press box, and John was there in this area in the press box. We get a drink, and I don't know why there was vanilla ice cream. Because I've been in that press box a lot, and I don't recall, it was a very primitive press box. But he was getting vanilla ice cream. I forgot if they had like a yogurt machine or an ice cream machine. He goes, "Would you like to have some with me?" And I said, "Sure, John." And we both had a little cup, and I went into the play-by-play booth.
of the Yankees with John Sterling. He brought me in. I think there was an engineer there. And he sat down, and I sat down with him, and we talked for about 10 minutes. And he asked me about my life, and I told him the stockbroker story and how I got into this. And he was eating his ice cream and generally listening to me. And we were talking. And then after that, I had him on again another year later on the radio. And he was very kind to me. I lost touch with him after that. I didn't want to call him every time the Yankees were playing. But I met him a couple of times, and it was really important to me that he accepted me, listened to me, and he knew how big it was for me to meet him. And I'm not talking about best friends and a lifelong friendship, none of that. But it meant something to me, and it stayed with me as a broadcaster ever since. He didn't have to sit down with me, he didn't have to talk to me, and he did. And I think the one thing I think I could say out of that time we sat down, a couple times I met him, but the first time in that broadcast booth in Oakland, was I think he realized that I wanted to be successful in what I was doing. You could tell my energy was there, how excited I was, and he listened to me. So when I found out that John Sterling died earlier today, it hit me hard. He's the same exact age as my dad. The same exact age. My dad's 87. And John Sterling passed away today, and I had a chance to talk to my dad for a few minutes, and I miss my mom and dad terribly, terribly. I'm going to be seeing them hopefully coming up here again. And I hung up the phone with my dad, and I was pretty emotional, not because of the connection that I had with John Sterling, but for the connection I had with my father. And it made me think of my dad today. And I think of John Sterling and the happiness he brought me in my life. Just playing the sound bites. I didn't love all the home run calls. I saw some of them were a little bit quirky, especially Giancarlo Stanton. And there was some that were a little bit different, but when he did a burn, baby burn, or he went big on a home run, you're on the mark to share. Those are big home runs when they were hit. A Thriller by Godzilla. And those home runs were huge. They brought a lot of joy to my life. Now, the Yankees, you might not be a Yankee fan, and I get it. But for all the Yankee fans that are listening at this point, I want to thank John Sterling for the impact that he had on my life. From the few times that I were able to meet him and interview him on the radio, to all the sound bites that I played throughout my entire career of Yankee home runs and walk-offs and World Series great moments, I made sure that whatever radio show I was hosting, I would ask the producer quickly, turn around that Sterling call. Get it to me now. We're coming out of a break. I need that home run. And I love playing it because not only as a Yankee fan, but I knew that his home run call would enhance the show. It would give the show a shot of adrenaline and energy that a great voice can bring to any radio show. So John Sterling had a massive impact on my life. As I'm in my studio,
how's it
and I
going?
look up at all my Yankee memorabilia.
I'm
I don't
good,
have
thank you.
anything for John
I'll put you on hold. We come back
It's
in
all
30
tied
seconds.
back to
JT's just
John
finishing up
Sterling.
a
For all
Yankees
the great
tribute.
modern moments
All
of
right,
the
Sam, thank you.
Yankees. And it's been a drought for a while, since 2009. But all the games he called, all the joy he brought to my life, all Yankee fans who are universal and global. Let's be here, John.
So
It was a
it's
great
just going to break, or is it coming to me?
It was a
Right to
career
you.
of
Yeah, we'll
passion,
get Alex here.
showing
Ready?
up, eating up all those innings play-by-play, home and on the road, and bringing joy to millions. I'll miss John Sterling because he had a big impact on my life as a broadcaster, and his home run highlights and moments are embedded with me. John Sterling, may he rest in peace.
Thank you for letting me share that. That was a big moment for me in my life with John Sterling, and I definitely wanted to just share that because there's rare times in your life where you lose a broadcast legend that had an effect on your career. All right, now we pivot to the Golden Knights winning last night. I watched a live shot with Alex Eshelman yesterday at Toshiba Plaza. She's kind enough to join us now, our insider. That looked like fun yesterday, huh? As those Anaheim Duck fans were ascending on the fortress, but Vegas wins 1-0. How was the game?
JT, first of all, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it as always. And yeah, they absolutely came in hot. T-Mobile Arena, but it was funny seeing all the posters, not only in Toshiba Plaza, but also inside the arena, saying that the Vegas Golden Knights are going duck hunting, and they did in Game 1. They, of course, won 3-1 with that empty netter by Mitch Marner to finish it off with just seconds left, as we both saw. And, it was interesting, though. We just went to City National Arena to follow up with the team, just 30 minutes to an hour ago. And let me tell you, they're not very happy with the way that they play. It doesn't feel, which is a good thing. I think that they're just very unsatisfied with the way that they started, especially in the first and the second period, and they're looking to, play faster. That's something that John Tortorella has really honed in on, and it's fun to do press conferences with him, JT, because he is, let me tell you, he's a guy of honesty. He keeps you honest, and he will keep it short, sweet, to the point if he doesn't want to answer a question, but will give you great lengthy answers if it's a qualified question. So it's definitely a feeling of unsatisfied. They're ready for Game 2 tomorrow.
Alex Eshelman's our guest. Yeah, I don't think they played very well, and I just felt like Anaheim last night was going to score. They tied it up at 1. And then the controversial icing call where their head coach, Joe Quenneville, went nuts, and everybody had to address it. But at times, an icing call is going to be waved off. It just so happened that Vegas scored. And it seems like that could add a lot of intensity to Anaheim in Game 2. I believe, Alex, that if Anaheim loses the first 2 games, they're not good enough to win 4 out of 5 against Vegas. But if they split, I think they're good enough to win 3 out of 5 from Vegas. So I think this is a really important game for Vegas to go up 2-0, because Anaheim reminds me a lot of the Utah Mammoth. Young, fast, speed, and they're going to play all out to try to save the series in this next game.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, JT, and I think that would be something that the Vegas Golden Knights would agree with. I mean, they addressed that time and time again in the playoffs, that every game is going to be a really tough game. I mean, it's just the way that playoffs go, So, like you said, Anaheim's a very young team, and the way that the Vegas Golden Knights started is definitely not the way they want to start. I mean, the way that they praised Carter Hart in his performance last night, they're almost, I don't know if disgusted is the right word, but kind of disgusted with their own playing, going, we have to play better for our goalie. That being said, there's going to be moments where the goalie is saving the game and vice versa. It's just the way the postseason goes. But I agree with you. I think tomorrow's going to be, critical in this series.
Alex Eshelman's our guest. So what do you think of all the Mendoza coverage overall in your years now covering the Raiders, and his launch of coming here, the introduction, then rookie mini camp, and how people that you correspond with around Vegas now are getting comfortable? And a lot of fans haven't met him yet or haven't seen him yet, but I think it's been a really smooth transition for him to get started here in Southern Nevada with the Raiders. How do you see it?
It's been amazing to see just everything that has come with Fernando Mendoza, and just the transition from him from Indiana throughout the entire offseason, and now with the Raiders. I know it's a few weeks back, but I was at the NFL draft, and even though, of course, Fernando Mendoza was not there, of course, he was in Miami, and then right after, right here in Las Vegas. I think the coolest part is everyone has a fan in just about every team. I mean, you could talk to Raider Nation. Of course, they're super excited about the guy. But I talk to Chargers fans. I talk to Steelers fans. People from all across the league have something to say that they enjoy about him, whether it's football related or not. He's just such a versatile person, and is a very relatable person on so many levels. And that's credit to him for kind of being unapologetically himself at the same time as being a class act. And I don't think you could ask for any more, especially from a media standpoint, in covering the future franchise quarterback and the future face of the Raiders. what are your thoughts? I mean, when I was at the draft, you were holding it down here.
Yeah, well, we were holding down a big party there. We knew about this for months, so it was kind of anticlimactic. But then when we had him in the building for that Friday, he blew the roof off, and it was much better than I expected. And I got a chance to spend a little bit of time with his mom and dad and brothers. And I really, Alex, think that's the storyline before football. We don't know how well he's going to do in camp or how long it's going to be until he plays, but we know what a great family man he is already. And I think there's going to be so many great special interest stories once we know he's going to be involved with MS for his mom, so a foundation there. I'm just excited to see what he's going to do in the community and how great he's going to be in the community.
And I just that was really cool to see because you don't typically see that at a game, right? You just see two sides going up against each other, but at the draft, it was really cool seeing all these different fan bases holding hands and singing "Kumbaya," if you will. It's cool.
All right. So, lastly, for you, where's your priority now? Mendoza Mania, or is it VGK the rest of the way with these live shots and with this city? Because listen, when this team's playing and advancing, we get multiple weeks of entertainment in hockey. So, if we can put the Ducks away and end up winning, and then having another 2 weeks, most likely against Colorado, and that great rivalry, we're talking about getting through all of May into June, and that's great for what you do, what I do, and what the fans want in this town.
JT, it's such a great question because, those are kind of the two main things, but we can't forget about the three-time world champion Aces.
Yes.
Home opener and ring ceremony is this Saturday, so we'll be covering that. The Hunters and Silver Knights are still in the fight. It's been fun to see them have the success that they've been having. So in my counterpart, Taylor Rocha, and as well as James Johnson, our awesome photographer, they will be in Anaheim covering the road games this weekend, so that will be really exciting. We're just kind of holding down the fort and trying to cover everything as much as we can, JT. I know that you're the same, but then we also have the A's. Obviously they're not in town right now, but they're sitting first, having a great season so far. Aviators are doing well. They've had some record-breaking attendance records to start off their season. So it's just everything is in full swing, and we couldn't be happier.
You're the best. Good to talk to you. I will see you at the Fortress or about town, and we always appreciate you when you come on with us.
JT, always an honor. Thank you so much.
You got it. Alex Eshelman, she does a great job at ABC 13. So, wow. Okay. Forgot to plug in my laptop, so my screen went down. But we're back. Technology works. Listen, we got a big day tomorrow. As of now, and we'll see how it plays out. Tomorrow we have Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, and Clint Kubiak, the head coach of the Raiders. I don't think I've ever done that before. Never had the owner and the coach the same show. And now Clint Kubiak might be after the show, depending on his schedule. And if he's after the show, we'll put that in the can, as we like to say, and we'll come back with that on Thursday. So busy day tomorrow. Busy day tomorrow as I'll be leaving the mean streets of Summerlin, not helicoptering, driving into Deep Henderson for 2 sit-down interviews. Mark Davis on his impact for the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He'll be in the class on Friday. And then Clint Kubiak as we take a look at the Raiders, the new look Raiders, which we are excited about. I'm excited about the brothers, brotherswin.com, the DeCastroverde Law Group. Their commercials are great now, man. Their spots, climbing mountains, hiking, winning cases, helping people along the way with the legacy of their dad and what he was able to build. If you get into an accident and you're injured, 2 for 1, the brothers, Alex and Orlando DeCastroverde. All right, everybody, not bad today. Thanks to Clay Baker putting the show together. Thanks to everybody else. Thanks to Alex Eshelman. I'm done for the day. I'll be on tonight. I got another show tonight, and looking forward to that. Thanks for watching today, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. Please hit like. Please hit like and subscribe, please, on the way out, and share the podcast.
Don't miss Unnecessary Roughness, weekdays at 2.
The Golden Circle Sports Bar inside Treasure Island is the ultimate spot to catch all your favorite sports on huge video walls. 55-plus TVs offering ideal views from every seat. Gourmet comfort foods, craft beers on tap, and all your favorite beverages. Plus, Treasure Island is the only place on the Strip with free parking.
Gambler's bonus hits again. On March 14th,